right. Hello, internet friends. I'm Ryan. This is After Dark. Thank you for being here this evening. We have a really fun guest tonight, and I am excited to talk to him about whatever the heck we're going to talk about. And we have the huge. We have Mark from Scythe Guitars. We have
What's up, y'all?
Sean from Scythe Guitars. We have Brian from Spruce Effects is here, and he's not sitting on the beach, which is weird.
I'm looking at it though.
Okay. We have engineer extraordinaire, musician, Steve Stout.
What up? Wish I was at the beach.
Somebody has a baby. We have Will Bennett the third.
Yeah, that's exactly who we got.
That's exactly who he is.
It's gonna plague me for a long time. And then we have our guest panelist this evening, Mr. Mark from Summer School Electronics. Hello, my friend.
Hey, how's it going?
It is great to have you here from the great city of Syracuse, New York. How's the weather up there right now?
I mean, well, right now it's dark. You got me staying up late on a school night.
Right. And you are legitimately getting up and teaching a class tomorrow, correct?
Oh yeah, teaching. We're doing testing this week, so I have to go proctor a bunch of tests tomorrow. So I'll just be telling the kids to log on their Chromebooks and just be like, just let me know if there's any problems.
You're like Jack Black in School of Rock when he comes in hungover.
I've gotten that comparison so many times.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you look like him, but it's like the same scene. You just go in and like check out and like not have to like,
No, I never do that. Never. That's
Hey,
terrible.
I see Gear Ant on Instagram. Hello, my friend.
Oh, what's
we
up, man?
We were actually talking about you earlier today, weirdly enough. I don't know. I'm not going to give any more details on that, but yeah. It was positive. It was all positive. So you're the thing that you and Brian have in common right now, besides great beards, is that you guys both work in education and then moonlight making pedals. So couple of questions. One is what do you teach? And second is how did you end up doing this? Like, how'd you end up making pedals?
All right.
Oh, Charles from Silktone is here. Hello, my friend.
There he
Very
is.
good to see you.
You should kick him out because of that roller coaster he put us through.
I know,
that
right?
Emotional roller coaster. I'm coming. I'm not coming. Now he just shows up. I can't handle
No,
it.
City has to do some shit for half an hour, so I'm gonna have to leave early because we got to go do that stuff. But
man, you are a part timer.
Yeah, dude.
So, anyway,
Charles, you used to be a standby guy.
I know, dude. I'm fucking blowing it lately. I gotta stop being so busy.
He was the Rock.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyways, Charles, I was just asking Mark, who is a teacher, what he teaches and how he ended up moonlighting as a pedal builder.
Right on. Hi, Mark.
Hey, how's it going, man? So I teach math AIS, and everybody asks what that means, and it's academic intervention services. So your kids that don't like math because they're not great at math, come see me for more math. So I'm everyone's favorite person.
Yeah, I should have been in that math.
Yeah. Yes, I do second grade through 8th grade. So I'm just jumping ages and grade levels all day, every day, and just kind of like, hey, we're adding fractions, but you don't know what fractions are, so we got to like figure that out so you can keep going. Yeah. So I've been doing that for I think like 8 years at this job, and I was subbing and stuff before that. And yeah, when COVID hit, it was like I was playing like a ton of bands. So like usually it'd be like every Friday, Saturday night I'm out playing gigs till 2 a.m. So when COVID hit, it was like there's no gigs. And then when in summertime, I was like, I'm not teaching remotely anymore. I don't have anything to really do right now. Yeah. So I got one of those build your own clone pedal kits and started putting something together. And from there it went to like start sourcing your own parts and building a bunch of clones, just for fun, like just for me. And then some friends were like, build me a delay, build me a blues breaker or whatever. And so I was like, well, that's just funding me building more fun stuff. And then I just went down the rabbit hole, like breadboarding, modding, doing a bunch of research, and eventually making some of my own designs. And it's been almost 3 years, I think. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so this is a relatively new thing for you.
Yeah, I tell people it's my COVID hobby that got out of control.
Yeah, I mean, like when you started doing that, like, did you ever imagine yourself being on the JHS show?
No, I was like, I'm just a fan. Like, I just think that's the coolest thing.
I mean, and more importantly, did you ever imagine yourself on After Dark?
I mean, no.
He's like, no. He's like, no, I didn't know it existed.
I didn't say that.
That's what this is called.
You thought it.
Where am I right now? What's happening?
I gotta say, there's this guy on Instagram who came in with a comment, sorry I'm late, and then some time went on, and then he went, who running this shit? and then goes, oops, wrong room.
That's our target audience.
and then have a good evening.
That's polite. It's nice.
Yeah.
Who was it? He follows you, obviously, right?
I don't know. Like, what if he truly just like wrong numbered it somehow, ended up in here and was like,
he's like, this is not OnlyFans.
yeah.
OnlyFans After Dark, baby.
Yeah, so close.
Very different website.
So, Mark, what was the first? You said you started off doing like a build your own pedal thing. What was the first one you did?
The first one I did was a Roland BG.
Oh shit!
He is.
Sorry,
My
wrong
turn.
button. Don't worry. I did that to James Valentine last week too. So sorry. It has nothing to do with you. It just
You made it 8
Wrong
minutes,
answer.
Mark.
Wrong answer.
It's a power move.
Yeah. I guess it's bedtime. I guess I'm going to bed.
Apologies.
The first one I made for the clones was a Roland BG fuzz, and I had heard fuzzes were like very easy to make, just in my like really early knowledge, and it totally. What's that?
Compared to what?
Well, just like if you're a delay pedal or a chorus or something. I heard like fuzz
okay.
were like very basic circuits.
Yeah.
So I'll try this thing out. And it's not one of the easier fuzzes to build that I learned quickly when it didn't work. And then just kind of had to learn how to. I got real good at using like the solder sucker and like tearing it apart and putting it back together. Yeah, it was a lot of learning through that.
It sucks while it cuts.
Yeah, I mean,
It certainly does suck.
I mean,
on my
like,
shelf, and I'm afraid to plug it in because I'm sure it doesn't work at this point.
Yeah.
Because like I held it together just enough to be like, I did something. It works.
Hell yeah.
I still wonder every time I plug one in if it's going to work, and it's been like thousands at this point.
Yeah.
Do you
there's-
guys
Same feeling.
breadboard stuff?
Hell
Yeah.
no.
You do? I fucking hate breadboarding. I hate
Yeah.
breadboarding so much, but I've been doing it because of all these ideas I've had, and it's just time consuming to do a whole new board for an idea.
Think of
So,
it this way: you're going
Yeah.
to draw it on your CAD eventually if it's cool enough.
yeah.
So like you're already like taking the first step, and then you can have the PCB in like 5 days.
I know. That's why I haven't breadboarded before, because I'm like, I'll just fucking do the BCB and get it here, and if it doesn't work, then I'll cry and throw it in the garbage and
I was a little more like
drink too much
liberal
beer
with
and
it.
move on.
When I was doing everything through hole, I was a little more like liberal with it. Like, I'll just order it and see what happens. And then if something was bad, I'm like, I could remove it and like jumper and like hodgepodge it together for the next time. But like when I started doing, I had to start doing stuff surface mount just for like the sake of time. And like I've had to remove and like replace some of those. And I'm like, that's a huge pain in the ass.
That's a
Yeah.
pain in the ass. I'm just
not
getting
like-
into the surface mount stuff.
Yeah. I'm like, just take the time and breadboard it and really go through and be like, move the little stuff. What I hate, working on something right now where I'm on like the breadboard works perfectly, but I'm on like my 5th revision of like ordering prototype boards that still aren't working right. And I'm
Oh,
like,
I hate that.
everything, it looks right, but there's some crazy step that's driving me nuts.
I did that with these guys heard all about it. But with the Overdrive Plus, man, there were some demons in those first prototypes. Like it was driving me insane. I was getting like just crazy oscillations when I'd hit the boost, and it all made sense. Like looking at it, I was like, there's nothing fucking wrong with this. And it ended up being like the input and output just like running too close together on the side of the board.
I do like once a month or every other month, we call it like Summer School Sunday, and I'll just do like an Instagram live and talk about something we did. And like for a couple of them, like, oh, I'll gather all the prototypes and like walk people through like the process. And I'm looking at all these pedals. I'm like, I went through all of these, and like half of them don't work at all. They're like, it's so just like wrong. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, what am I doing?
Crap.
So, I mean, like, I'm obviously not a pedal builder, and I don't know anything about building pedals. But to me, like from an outsider's perspective, like breadboarding seems almost necessary. But you're like, I mean, like I'm not in a position where I could look at a bunch of capacitor values and stuff like that and be like, okay, that's going to sound like this. Like, but you're telling me those of you who don't breadboard, you can.
Can what? Breadboard or can do it?
Those of you
Just
who
know.
don't, yeah, you can look at capacitor values and stuff like that and go, if I do this and this and this and this and this, it's going to sound like this.
Yeah. You get a ballpark, like, and then if it doesn't sound that way, that's when you start
Change
tweaking
it.
stuff. But like with the programs I use, and I'm pretty sure Brian uses too, and probably Mark, there's a lot of modeling. So you can do like spice models and stuff, and you can see what kind of distortion you'll get, what kind of frequency response you'll get. So like if I'm messing with a filter, I'm familiar enough with the sound on how it looks on a graph to go, okay, that'll kind of sound this way. But like for dialing in like harmonics and a drive tone or something, I'm always tweaking that stuff. So I'll get the basic topology like on a circuit board and in this dramatic, and then I'll just tweak values on the actual circuit board. Like I'll hook in a pot and tweak it rather than setting up a whole breadboard, because I typically know what kind of circuit I want.
Like to me, that seems like if I were mixing a song and I was doing it completely blind, just looking at EQ curves alone.
Yeah,
like
that's like that's what exactly. What
okay.
Yeah.
And
well, that sounds like you're playing Russian roulette. I mean,
you don't release it without hearing it first.
but like you send off for your board. It comes back. You populate it, and you go, oh yeah, like or oh no,
yeah.
Interesting.
That I think
I do it more. I'm staring at two of my breadboards that just look like messes of wire right now, right off the screen. But like, I'll go through and like do all that just because, like, I mean, this is like super inside baseball. Like, I use KiCad as like my software, so I haven't messed with like the splice stuff or any of that. I just haven't gone into that. I just remember like when you find, analyzing schematics and being like, all right, this part does this thing, this part does the other thing. So if I'm going to mess with something, I'll mess with that section.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
That makes sense.
That's where I'm at with my part of it.
Yeah, that's cool. The KiCad is cool. I use DipTrace for now just because it offers me everything I need. But KiCad is super powerful and all open source stuff. That's awesome.
Well, that was the whole thing. Like when I was starting to go from like just doing clones and whatever else to like I want to start doing my own kind of thing and getting in. I was like, well, I had tried messing with just like perf boards where you're like just putting all the stuff in back, and like my brain could not do that. Like you have to do it this way, but look at it from the back, and like I just can't visualize it. You know what I mean?
I don't like those at all. I bought a bunch thinking I would use them, and then I was like, I'm not gonna fucking do this.
I have like a drawer of like sitting right here that I'm like, I'll never open that drawer, and like, I just don't like it. But I had done some like when I was in high school, I took like real basic like engineering class thing where it's like the very basics of CAD. So when I was like, oh, I'll just open source CAD program, and I got KiCad and found like a YouTube tutorial. I'm like, I can learn this during my planning period at work. I can figure this out.
Yeah,
You should just get the free educator license for Eagle.
Yeah, I should probably.
Yeah, that's what I do.
hell yeah.
Don't use it for monetary purposes, though.
Yeah.
Wink, wink.
Yeah.
You can't write it off.
At this
Can't
point,
write it off if it was free.
yeah, I'm so just like locked into like this like workflow part of it that I was like, I know there's other programs I should learn. I'm like, I don't got the time. I'm trying to like actually build pedals on top of teaching. I'm like, I'll deal with that later. I can't.
I think that's such a thing, even with like we do like the demos, a couple of us, and it's like the amount of people that have been like, use DaVinci, bro, use DaVinci. And I'm like, I don't want to. Like, I'm just going to keep using Final Cut because I know I had enough.
Or the DAW wars. Like, give me a break.
Oh, dude, the DAW wars are real, dude.
Like, whichever one works for you is the one.
Just use it. Exactly.
Like,
they don't sound different.
I was using a super outdated like version of Logic for a long time, and somebody came over and they're like, "You're still on like 9 or what? I don't know, whatever number I was on."
9 was great. 9 was great.
Whatever it was.
When we were forced into 10,
yeah,
that sucked. Like,
I had it, and he was like, "Why are you using that?" I'm like, "Because I know where everything is." Like, I think I had tried whatever the next one was, and I'm like, the clicky thing I need isn't there anymore, and I got
Oh yeah,
no,
dude.
And I was like, I could just work so much faster doing the shortcuts that I knew. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, and we talked about this last week, and I don't need to relitigate it, but like 11 was announced last week. And that has a whole bunch of AI features, like you can have an AI band and stuff like that. And I'm just like, that is just bring me back to 9. 9 was the best.
9 was so ugly though. 9 was so ugly.
It was ugly, but it got the job done with like no monkey business. Like, it was just like
it made you use your ears. It didn't have.
I loved 9. I loved 9.
Oh man.
And I love Logic as well.
I haven't used Logic in a long time. I'm all on Luna now.
I'm trying to close Logic right now, and it won't fucking close.
Yeah.
Oh, Luna seemed cool.
But
again, I don't have the patience.
Yeah, it's all right.
Well, Luna's fine if you don't use, like, my understanding of Luna is Luna was kind of just like, it was set up to be very much like if you were sitting in front of a board, right? So you don't have kind of the loop functions and stuff like that Logic has. And like, for somebody like me who doesn't play my own drums like fucking Steve over here, I have to have some kind of access to those loops, and Luna doesn't give that to me.
Yeah, I do really simple stuff. So,
but the hope is, I mean,
you gotta play those drums, dude.
A lot of people have been like publicly asking for them to do that. So hopefully,
I thought they'd added a bunch of stuff, but I haven't.
I don't know. I haven't updated it in a long time. I should.
I couldn't use it.
I will say,
I bought an Apollo that's registered to an employee of a music store, so I get all the plugins for free.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
So I have, but because it's registered to him, I can't download Luna without his login.
Oh, okay.
So I have to choose between Luna or plugins, and I made that choice.
I have a license from Universal Audio that like it's everything.
Yeah,
but it expires every year. So like every year I have to like come crawling back to my Universal Audio rep and be like, oh, they're all gone.
They were all gone, Daddy. When I used to work in a music store, I had it, and it was the same thing. It was yearly. But every time they would do an update, they would just mass refresh the entire list of who had it.
Yeah.
So you'd be like, 200 days left, but they put a new plugin and it would reset to a year. Like I quit working at I left the music store I worked at in 2016, and that kept refreshing until like last year for me.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
I'm on the Spark now, guys. I'm fully off the Universal. Sorry to totally take this to a whole other place, but I'm off the Universal Audio like interface game.
The DSP.
Yeah, I'm Focusrite guy because I just kept. We had more DSP at the other studio I work at, and then I just had a twin with one core, and I was just like hitting the damn thing so hard, and just was like, I don't want to buy a Apollo, like a big one, and I did some stuff with Focusrite, and I actually really liked it because the Claret has like knobs on the outside, you know, and I was like, this feels like hardware. You just go boop, 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 like for like the overheads, you just turn them, and then my kid changes them, but so I got into the Spark thing where they're all like native or whatever. So I paid a yearly for that one. But I think they sound great. It's nice that you get kind of like a more streamlined selection too, instead of just like. I was never a huge fan of like the massive Waves bundle because it was just like to the menu. It felt like Windows 95 to me, you know.
Yeah.
Too many options.
Well, I mean, you know, there are some Waves plugins that I use religiously.
Yeah.
But 99% of them I could care less.
Yeah, I just started buying like the ones I really like mostly the Abbey Road stuff, but
Abbey Road stuff is good.
Yeah.
I mostly use like their noise stuff. So
that's
so
helpful.
They have the X noise and the Z noise and stuff like that. Those are really good.
Yeah.
And then one of the things I really like, because I'm not a great bass player. Like I'm an okay, I can make it work for this thing bass player. But they have a leveler that.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And it's like, it's amazing. And it basically will just level out your stuff. And it's not compressing it. It's just leveling it out. And
and you just kind of
it's great. It's great.
MV2 or something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah. They're like Bass Rider. I think it's called Bass Rider.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's like Vocal Rider. Yeah.
Yeah, they have Vocal Rider as well.
Yeah.
And that's a cool plugin.
All that stuff is so sick. I feel okay. So here's a question for you, Mark. Like, has anyone talked about like some of your designs and making use of them? And like, I feel like I've been trying to use more stuff. Like really trying to get better about using more, and I don't use a reamp box, and I still don't really know why you need to necessarily. I don't know if anyone else knows any better than I do, but like using pedals to get out of the computer, hit a pedal, and then come back in. Like, have you like, has anyone kind of given you that feedback that they're like, oh man, I use this on like a snare drum or something? Like, I feel like there's more and more of that.
I've seen people run we have a pedal called the Science Fair. It's like a rat and tube screamer in parallel. Nice. I've seen people run like drum overheads through that, and it just gets that like old school hip hop, like trashy snare sound. Like people do that. And I have some friends who've done more like more electronic kind of music. It's more for like, I think that more so than like
you gotta crush those cymbals.
So then like I ran the entire mix through a tube screamer. Like
no.
I know
tube screamer
there
is
are
pretty
people
specific.
that do that, but I feel like a lot more like the electronic people are more apt to be like, I have this whole sequence synthetic thing, and then like I ran it through a delay pedal and like messed with the regen and all that.
Have you guys seen this? Like there's a company, they're advertising like crazy on Instagram right now. And it's a series of plugins, but they're like pitching them as pedals.
Oh, Safari.
The Safari pedals. Has anybody tried them?
No, I've never. I've yet to try them, but like, I mean,
I have a couple.
They look cool. Ooh, William the Third.
Jared Harper is here. I feel like we haven't seen Jared Harper in a long time, although he left a really snotty comment on one of my videos the other day, and that was fantastic. Gear Ants is back. Gear Ants is building some pedals right now on and we are the white noise while he does that. So
literally.
I think I rusted my beer. It feels rusted. The cooler is not working.
have one of his pedals. It's downstairs with all my other stuff.
Yeah, I did one.
His Yellow Jacket. It's like
it's cool.
Yeah.
It's a cool pedal.
We did a lot. Gearant and I were next to each other at the Brooklyn Pedal Show last year.
Sure.
So we were just hanging out all day.
You do the Brooklyn, what is it, the Stomp Box exhibit? Or
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I'm going in October.
Oh,
Hey,
nice.
Hey, Mark, what does Gearant smell like?
Wonderfulness.
Okay, good.
That's what I thought.
No, he's super cool. Yeah, I did the Stomp Box exhibit the last 2 years in Brooklyn. This year my buddy's getting married, so I can't make it down for that. But my buddy Steve, who does like all of the artwork for all of our pedals, he's probably gonna go and run a booth for us at that.
Oh, right on. That's cool. Yeah, I'm trying to hit more of those. I'm doing the LA one next month and then the Brooklyn one in October. And
yeah, the Brooklyn one's super fun. It's 2 days. Like that one was cool. We did that, and then that Paolo, who organizes the whole thing, does the whole booth at NAMM. So that's like we got out there to do that.
I think we all know Paolo.
Okay.
Everybody knows Paolo.
Everybody does.
Charles, I'll go to LA with you. I went many years ago, but I haven't been in a while.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I got a bunch of stuff to do down there, but let's talk about it.
Okay.
So this is actually a really good topic, and I think it's an important one for those of you who.
Why don't you go look for yours?
Hi, Ivy.
What's up, buddy?
Hi, Ivy.
Hi.
Hi. So I feel like one who, again, I worked in distribution for a lot of years, and NAMM was like very important, and everybody needed to have their own booth, and it was all this big, like it was this big show, and then COVID happened, and I feel like COVID called bullshit on NAMM, like in a big way, and what I've seen is that a lot of pedal builders will send their stuff to NAMM, to something similar to Paolo or to Paolo, to do just kind of the cattle call, thing. But investing more into these smaller local pedal shows that are really kind of like, I feel like you get more access to, so NAMM, you're just talking to retailers, right?
They've opened it to the public.
Yeah, it's a combination of both. It's like even people with like the buyer badge that like I was talking to. Oh, you're just with
the blue badge. The blue badge. The blue badge is always the one you want to.
Yeah, and I was like, hey, so like, where are you for? Like, oh, I don't work there. My buddy does. He just gave me this. And I'm like, cool. That's very
great.
But the pedal pop up
pedals or not?
The pedal pop up thing, and Charles, I mean, I think you have done more of these than anybody I know, but like it seems to be like kind of the future of how this, because you get to interface with your customer directly, and you get to do, I don't know, Charles.
It's cool. If in my experience, the people in the area that already know about you and haven't been able to check you out are the most receptive. And like, so when I had a booth, I've only done the Portland one, but I've done it a couple times, and I've visited a few more to see how they run. But like this time around, I advertised a bit ahead of time, letting people know in Portland, like, hey, I'm going to be there. And we did really well. We sold a lot of pedals. It was awesome. But the last time I was there, I wasn't as well known, and people didn't give a shit. There's a lot of people going through and like checking out every single booth and playing everything just to hear it, and they didn't want to talk, and they just kind of went on their way. And then there were people that would come up, and if they were already fans, then they were excited to like try the new stuff,
Yeah.
But
okay.
it wasn't.
So it's a mixed bag. it's a
But
big
something
thing.
like NAMM gets way more like community and media coverage. So like, I don't know. I see more value in NAMM than just like what happens.
But as someone who carries a media badge when I go to NAMM,
Right.
you know, like I kind of feel like unless it's like, you know, something extraordinary, you know, like,
Yeah.
do you feel like you just kind of get lost in that mix of like NAMM shit, and people who didn't go to NAMM don't give a flying F? And
we'll see. I think I'm gonna do it this next year. So
I'm gonna work your booth at NAMM, my friend.
fuck yeah,
And you're gonna work my booth too.
I'm
because
also
And you gotta work
coming.
my booth at NAMM.
yeah, we're all doing it. So
you're the best salesman we've
Guys,
got, dude.
I'm coming for sure this time. It's time.
Steven and I
Let's
are
do
gonna
it.
work your booth at NAMM.
but
We're
yeah,
gonna
I'll let
work
you
your
know.
booth.
I'll let
Yes.
you know if it
Love
was
it.
cooler doing the pedal pop-ups, because I'm doing a bunch this year, and then I'm gonna do NAMM, and I'm gonna weigh which one is worth continuing.
I gotta say, as
Fair
much
enough.
as like I want to be like a NAMM hater, it's like I feel like there's one thing, I don't know, like maybe coming from the side of like what like me, Ryan, and kind of Will do and stuff, like being like and like the side of it too. I do like some studio stuff, like some plugin company stuff, where like I was like, oh man, the Klevgrand guys were there, and they're like, I don't know, Swedish, I think. I should know this,
Yeah.
but they're so nice, and I use their stuff every day, and like it's probably the one time they come to America, you know, that I'm like, man, like to just be able to like even just say thank you for like saving my ass in like so many of these sessions. Like I think that is kind of, and I grew up just like, I mean, we're all like YouTube and stuff, but just like as much as the Guitar Player magazines and all those things are maybe not the most important things as they used to be. And you know, I feel like Fender doesn't even put out big stuff anymore at NAMM, but
They don't even have a
They don't
booth.
go anymore.
Gibson
Yeah, they
doesn't,
weren't even there.
Gibson
Yeah.
doesn't show up.
Yeah, which is so crazy. But I remember moving to LA, and I literally, me and my mom drove across the country in the Civic I had just bought, and I was like, I'm getting there for NAMM, and I was like, but it was definitely a bit of an upset when I got there, because I was like, I mean, it was exciting, but it was like, oh god, it's just Guitar Center. Like the reality of realizing that all the videos online are like a close mic amp and a lav mic, and then you're like,
Yeah,
The biggest
I don't
the
give a
biggest
shit
bit-
about anything there.
No. It's about the hangs, dude.
Yeah, it's about the hangs.
Yeah, I mean the last
That's
time
fair.
like all of us went, like we were
Mhm.
on the floor like 7 minutes total for the entire weekend.
And I feel like I learned that.
It was a
and
little
was
longer
like-
than that.
It was like an hour. and a half.
It was under 3 total hours, but
Yeah,
That's what
Um,
education conferences are like.
What is
You like go
what's
to a
NAMM,
couple.
what does
sorry.
NAMM do with retailers like Sam Ash shutting down? That was news today,
Yeah.
right? Sam Ash is
I think a
going
couple
away?
days ago, right?
yeah.
I went to
They're
I went
gone.
to school with me and Ben Ash were buddies back at Berkeley. We were check out that lid. Ben's such a sweetheart. That's so sad that that's happening.
Hmm.
I don't know
I-
anything else about it.
I
but-
think you know what else is really sad is that the Demos in the Dark logo is covering up your sweet mustache.
dude,
That's-
it's
yeah,
guys, I had a mustache for like 10 years, and I think I'm gonna get rid of it. I don't know.
I have a question for Mark. So Mark, you've been involved in a NAMM booth before and the other pedal pop-up stuff. Have you noticed any kind of benefit over one or the other?
So the only thing I did at NAMM was the shared Stomp Box exhibit right there.
Uh-huh.
Right, which is what everybody does now,
Yeah.
except for a few
Yeah.
who are
Well, and
yeah.
that was the thing too for us. Like, I've always wanted to go to NAMM, like even like since I was like in high school, like getting the New Musician's Friend, like just being
Yes.
dark, you know. Like, I always thought that was super cool, and I was like, I'll never get to go, like whatever. And it wasn't until like, oh, I started a pedal company, and then there's this opportunity, and like that's the only way we could afford to go. Like, we wouldn't be able to like get our own booth and justify that cost. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I know everybody said,
Apollo gets you.
yeah. 2023 was everybody. We went and everybody was like, "This is not how it used to be. This is like garbage." And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm still having a good time. Like I think it's cool. And
I
like,
think
but like I thought we got some dealers out of it, and like it was
sweet.
Like I wouldn't normally talk to. Like I just, I run a little thing out of my attic when I'm not in school. So I was like getting dealers in like California and Tennessee, and I'm like, oh, that's really cool. Whereas like when we did like the Brooklyn pedal show and like some of those kind of things, it's more direct to customer.
Yeah.
So like, we would go there and I'd, get people to be like, oh, I'll take one of those or two of those, whatever. And what's cool is like when we did it, I've only done the Brooklyn one twice. When we did the second time, a lot of those people came back and were like, I remember you from last year.
Yeah.
I want to get this. These are my friends. They want. I'm like, oh, cool. So like,
totally
it was kind of nice to like see. I mean, it felt good to me to be like, oh, I think I'm doing something right. But it was also cool that people were like receptive to it because you put stuff out there and you don't really know who's getting it and who's liking it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like it's the same as like going and just playing. I feel like there's such a parallel to like playing shows with COVID happening and then going and doing it again. And even if there's 5 people there, you're like, it's so easy to like make music in a vacuum. In the same way, it's easy to like make a product in a vacuum. And then like, yes, like you're shipping stuff, like we ship like CDs to people, but you're still kind of like, is anybody listening to any of this? Like, is this real or like?
It's I mean, that's kind of been like my whole approach is like, I grew up playing in like, DIY punk rock, indie rock bands where like booking your own tours, sleeping on friends' floors, quit your job. We're going to go for a week. You'll figure that out later. Like
the fact that they let you sleep on their floors though, like even that blind faith in that moment is like, almost says more than like down the line being, like there's so much, I think there's just so much to be said for so much of just like the human interaction of any of that stuff.
But that's kind of like the attitude that me and like my couple friends who've helped out like brought to this of like, we're going to go to Brooklyn, we're going to do the show. Like, well, then we got to post everywhere. We got to make flyers for it, put it all online. We got to tell people like, run it like it's a band.
Yeah, that's rad.
And that was like, going back next year. Like, I don't know, it's a new place. Let's see. And like the fact that you did get people coming around, it's like when you go play a new town and people see your band for a second time, and you're like, holy shit, somebody cares. So like that was like a huge important thing. And like, NAMM was like all about the hangs, and like you did get to. It worked well for us to like get some more dealers and work it that way and just kind of network and do that. I think it's kind of lucky that I didn't get to see it before to be like, oh, I'm like, no, I'm like coming in fresh. And I'm like, for like a little tiny thing, I'm like, no, I'm having a great time. We're like putting it together and doing it.
Yeah, that's rad. And they say, NAMM is all for the hangs and everything, but these pedal pop-ups too, like I go and if I make money selling a few pedals direct, awesome. If I don't, I got a little vacation. I got to hang out with all my friends that build pedals. Like, it's rad. Like I have so many friends in Portland. So it's cool that they're all in like these big areas because Portland, I know so many people and we all hang out when I go. I'm doing the LA one because I have a few people to see down there. So I'm doing kind of a multi-trip out of it. And then New York, I'm getting to know a ton of people. So I'm like, fuck, I might as well go to that one too.
Well, how was the Portland one? Because I had thought about going out to do some of the stuff out there, but I was like, I just don't know enough about it. It's such a hike from like the other side of the country. How was that one?
It was cool. I think there were I think Paolo said there's like 2,000 people walking through. I think maybe 30 stopped at my booth. So like there's not, a lot of people walking around and a lot of people are very direct. They know exactly where they want to go and they check it out. And then some people kind of meander around and check out the new stuff. So most of the people that were there were really into pedals. So it was cool. Yeah, it was good. But like I said, the first time I went, I only had the fuzz pedal, just the one. And people were receptive to it, but not a lot of sales at the show. I think I sold like 2 pedals the whole show.
But this last one, you mopped up, right?
Yeah, we sold, I think 10 overdrives, 10 or 11 or something. Nice. So, which was
that
really
rocks.
good. Yeah, it was really good. It paid for the whole trip, so that was rad.
Michael Page has one, my friend.
Hell yeah, dude.
Michael Page.
Michael Page.
At this point, has got to have the sweetest rig. Like, he buys from like all you guys, and it's just like
That's awesome.
you just gotta have.
I'm
sweet
so stoked for his guitar.
I am too.
Yeah.
I want to see it before you send it to him.
Just check my email. I've never heard of this guy. What the hell?
Oh, sorry. He buys from all of these guys. Not you.
You gotta come to these shows
He
more.
drew around me.
This one, yeah.
You gotta come to these shows more, man.
Yeah.
It's true.
I mean, I also just did like when we did that first Brooklyn show, it was the most mind-blowing thing when I like show up with our pedal board and I'm like, where do I go? And they're like, who are you? I'm like, Summer School Electronics. Like, what do you got to tell somebody your band name for the first time?
Yeah.
That's the silly
They're
name
like-
it shows.
Well, it's funny. The first time I went, like I said, I only had the fuzz, so I had this great idea to like load up my board because I didn't want to just go and have one pedal. That feels
Yeah.
so weird. So I was like, sick. I'll put a bunch of vintage like pedals on here, so if people want to hear it in context, they'll have
Oh,
like this cool Memory Man or this sweet like Holy Grail reverb, or I forget what else I had on there. But I had
That's
a bunch
so smart.
of stuff. And what?
That's so smart. I love that movie.
That's
Like,
great.
just being like, this should be in with these, you know?
Think, but then I had a bunch of people coming up not knowing what brand I was representing, and they were like, even though I had my Micronaut and like my amps, they were like, "Oh, sweet, are you selling these vintage Electro Harmonix pedals? Like, can I buy a couple of those?" And I was like, "No, dude, I'm
mine."
so stoned." Like, what
People
the
are
fuck?
dumb. That's
So
dumb.
the second day I yanked them all off the board. I
Yeah.
was like, "Fuck this! I'm just doing the Micronaut and the fuzz."
When we went to the first one, they were like, you guys are right between Empress and Red Panda. And I was like, oh my God, it's like real things.
Sick.
And like Red Panda just had an unmanned board. So everybody who came by was coming to us to be like, hey, how does this work?
Asking about the
I'm like,
Red Panda board.
That's because Andy Pitcher doesn't work there anymore, and everybody else who does is so like smart that they can't relate to normal human beings.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
that's funny. The unmanned board is a strong play. They'll figure it out.
I mean, Earthquaker does it every show that there is. You know, it's just like they just ship a board and
stuff is great.
Hope for the
It's
best.
all-
we were next to them the last 2 years at NAMM, and there was like a moment, like they always had people there, but like occasionally they had like meetings or whatever, and like somebody was trying to do it, so I just stepped over. I'm like, oh, this goes here and does whatever, and they're like, do you work there? I'm like, I'm just a fan. I'm just a dork who has those pedals. Like, I know what they do. You're fine.
Sweet.
I think Jamie Stillman just shut our shit down because we said his name. Did you see that? Like everything just went dark for a second.
Shut it down.
Yeah.
I feel like those giant boards sometimes I get a little overwhelmed, but like I will say at NAMM
you
one
absolutely
time,
should.
I did buy a pedal. I bought like that diamond counterpoint. I don't know if anyone remembers that pedal, but it was like a delay. But I was like,
Was that real diamond or solid gold effects diamond?
Real
OG
diamond.
diamond.
This is 10 years ago, guys.
Okay,
But
okay.
That's the good
We
old Nova
played-
Scotia diamond.
we played the Taylor booth, but then we went to like a steakhouse. It was fancy, guys.
Did you go to a Brazilian steakhouse?
No, we went to like
you went to
Ruth Chris or
Canadian.
something.
You went to Ruth Chris. Okay.
It was pretty
Steve,
sick. Though. I was like,
why
I
don't you
feel
come to the
fancy.
shitty Brazilian steakhouse with us next time?
The shitty Brazilian
next time,
steakhouse.
It is.
It's not shitty. Like,
It's
compared
one
to
of the
Ruth's
best.
Chris.
That's one of the best Brazilian steakhouses I have ever been to.
I don't think I've been to
Yeah.
one ever.
As long
So
as the
yes,
asparaguses are as big as your fucking forearm, man, that's how you know you're in the right spot.
That's right.
And they
I
were.
can't wait. I'm in. I'm all in.
Yeah, Steve, you gotta come to NAMM with us.
I'm definitely coming. This year I was like, man.
But don't share our residence with us because that.
Oh no. I think genuinely, I think me and Jay are gonna come, and I think we might try to like book a show in LA or something, or have another like excuse to also be there and just kind of have a whole little. I don't know. That's what
You should definitely do your hotel in Anaheim, though.
That makes sense because that's where all the hangs are. I totally
Right.
agree with that.
Well,
Yeah.
sort of. I mean, like it depends on what.
I'm
It depends
walking
on what.
everywhere, dude.
It depends
I
on
gotta
what kind
figure out
of
what it would
what
look
kind of
like,
hang
yeah.
you want.
I'm wondering how it's going to go this time since we'll be working a booth. Because last time, if I was in the condition I was in last time, it would be really interesting to work a booth.
Yeah.
Stuff.
we spend more time at the
I don't know what you're
hotel.
talking about, man.
Yeah, I know.
I was
Yeah, we were
fine
cool.
during the day.
I'm
Yeah,
cool.
that's why you have
I'm bringing Nick.
Nick run the
Yeah.
have Nick do it.
Yeah, I'm bringing Nick for sure. He's not allowed to drink there, so.
All right.
I'll run your booth. 80% off.
Not on the
everything.
clock.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
So Mark, what's next? Like, is it? I mean, what do? You got a day gig, you got a night gig.
I mean, I think we have like another month of school, and then I'm free for 2 months to like catch up on everything that I've been putting off. We just put out our class reunion pedal.
Yep.
And that was pretty good. Yeah, it's like a Russian Big Muff and then our Trash Panda, which is like an op amp overdrive, but it's like those blended together.
Sweet.
It's super fun. I'm really proud of that one.
Oh yeah.
And then we're just doing just set up. We're gonna check out Fretboard Summit in August.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Cool.
Oh, right on.
Check that out. See what's
I
going
might
on.
go.
I'm thinking about going as well.
I got to
You
get
guys
a
are fucking going to. When is it?
It's the August
End
like
of
25th
August?
or whatever that weekend is. Like
Yeah.
second to last in August.
I might go down with the Frank Brothers dudes.
Garrett says, after school, will you be teaching summer school?
I will say this is one thing I thought I was real clever for picking that name to be like, it's only build in the summer. Like that's the plan. No one's gonna buy this all year round. It's a silly idea. And now I do. And so now at school, like I'll be in the like staff room or something, and someone will be like, "Hey, did you hear about summer school this year?" I'm like, "Are you talking about me?" And they're like, "No, like actual summer school." Like,
Dude, that's amazing.
And I'm like, "Oh, okay."
You're like, I'm the opening act for actual summer school.
Yeah. Actually, that phrase just keeps getting dropped. Like, who's working summer school this year? I'm like, oh no, I have my own.
You're like,
job.
you're like, who wants to work here?
Not what you're doing. I have my own other. Yeah.
I can't afford it. Would you like to volunteer?
Yeah.
Have you, Mark? Have you had any like students that like? I feel like I didn't play guitar till I was like 13, but like, do you have any students that play guitar that like are aware of what you do and stuff like that yet?
So our school's super small, and it's like not the wealthiest area where I teach, and so Josh Scott reached out to me. He's on the board of the Songbirds Museum in Chattanooga, and he was like,
"Of course, he is.
So you're a teacher." Yeah, of course. Yeah, I was like, "Why wouldn't you be?" So he was like, "You're a teacher. Do you want a bunch of guitars for your students to do at school?" And they were like, "We have a Guitar for Kids program." It shipped us 18 like Epiphone Pro
18 Sipes.
18 custom shop.
If your numbers are
I did
a little
just
off,
email
that's
him right
fine.
before I hopped on here. So
What's that?
I did just email Josh Scott right before we
awesome.
jumped on here. So yeah, I'll get you 18 of ours. It'll only cost you retail.
That's so cool, dude. That's
so we started
cool.
this after school guitar club, and so like we'll do like 10 weeks in the fall and 10 weeks in the spring, and all these kids are just like showing up. They're like middle schoolers, like 6th, 7th, 8th grade, and they're like, I've never touched a guitar in my life.
What?
My friend, I just think it'd be cool. I'm like, here you go, grab us. Like, you want to learn how to play Super Mario? And we'll do the do 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 do, and they're like,
that's how I started. That's how I started playing.
Yeah, we'll do that.
That's
We're
cool.
like Seven Nation Army, and now I got kids playing like Everlong and Wonderwall, and like kids are showing up and like, I heard this song on TikTok. Could you teach me to play it? It smells like Teen Spirit. I'm like, yeah, I've played that a few times, man. I got you covered. Don't worry.
Yeah, dude, that's so cool, man. That's
So when I did the JHS thing, all the kids made little like thank you cards for Josh, and it was like super awesome. And no, they love it. We had it's every Tuesday, so we were just doing it yesterday. Like, went outside by the playground, and they're all like the elementary kids are on the playground, and all my guys are like sitting over here on like the little outdoor like amphitheater thing, and they're all just sitting there playing. And all these kids are like I want to do that when I get older. And I'm like,
Yeah.
cool. We got
That's sick.
Nice.
Yeah, they're
I'm all for the education. It took a lot for me. I think I wouldn't have gotten there without like I don't think I would have figured it out on my own. I needed as much as possible.
Well, so like they get that, and like they're not super into like the guitar YouTube like world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like I tried explaining to them, and I was like, guys, I'm over spring break. I'm flying to Kansas City. I'm gonna do this thing. And so like they've watched that video to be like, I know him. And
that'd be so cool.
And like I've brought in like my pedal board, and I've got a little like amp at like a garage sale that lives in my classroom, and like I'm bringing in electric, and they'll mess around with that. And so I was like, do you guys want to learn how to build pedals? And they're like, yeah. So we did it once in the fall where like I'll just kind of like I've got my box from right here, like make a pre-made, like all they're really doing is just like tightening the washers and nuts to like put it all in
Sure.
cell, you know. But they all like sit around the table. I'm like, all right, first you're gonna do this and you tighten this, and like it takes like an hour, and they each build a little like fuzz pedal, and then they can plug it in and test it out in the room. Like I already
and then you put it in the enclosure and send it off to your customers.
Yeah.
You said, Josh, I told you to do this.
No.
Hey, Brian, where's Ivy?
She's right to my left. Why?
All right, bring her on.
Come up here.
Hi, Ivy.
Say hi.
Hi, Ivy. How are you?
You pinned us so she can't see you.
Okay.
Say hi.
Hi, Ivy. Hi. Oh,
No,
that's me.
phone.
I don't know my buttons. Ivy, how you doing?
How are you doing? Say I'm good. Say Ryan's demos suck.
That was a yes.
It's like she said it.
Ivy, what did you have for dinner?
What'd you have for dinner? You know how to talk. Come on. Soup. That's right.
Soup. All right. That's enough of that.
Yeah. Sorry. She could.
I got
my
my
Stardom debut, but she blew it.
Yep.
I mean, she has cool hair though.
She does have cool hair. And I've never seen a picture of that kid with clothes on.
She's
Not a
into
one.
it.
Not a one.
It's too hot. It's too hot.
It is too hot.
No,
It's
it's
too
like
hot.
50 degrees here.
I'm rocking the shorts today, so
Yeah, well, I mean, this is my year. This is my year. So I have
shorts.
yeah.
Yeah, let's
Let the people see it. You gotta
let's
show
see
them.
Oh,
holy
Your legs are
Right.
so skinny.
yeah, there you go.
That's a good leg.
This is my year. I have decided I'm 43 years old, and I don't care what anybody thinks about how I look anymore. And so I'm doing shorts this year. I'm gonna be
till 43.
But yeah, I'm gonna be physically comfortable. No more black jeans.
Just burning up.
Just sauna down there.
Just wait till you get black cutoffs, dude. I say next week. I say next week we have a live cutoff party. I've got my.
Let's do it.
Right.
Let's do it.
I got jeans.
Every pair of black jeans you have, you just cut them all off.
Whoever I guest is next week is gonna love that.
It's Kevin Morby. Thanks for coming on.
We just got
I haven't heard back from him yet on what his schedule is. He gets back in town on Wednesday, so that
I bet you Kevin Morby would be fine with cutting his own jeans on
that dude.
I think Kevin would be all in on the
guarantee you, he's a cutoffs boy.
Oh yeah, he's got to bring his nunchucks for
Oh,
sure.
good boy.
We got a puppy there.
I bought some nunchucks, and I will
drive me crazy.
I'll just see if Kevin wants to come over and we'll nunchuck together. I'm probably better than he is.
Nunchucks and cutoffs. Nunchucks and cutoffs. That is.
I'm pretty sure when I saw him at the Woods Festival, he had his nunchucks with him. Like
absolutely
walking around camp, just nunchucking.
You gotta let him know.
He's an athletic guy. I'll tell you that much.
So good.
All right, well, gentlemen, I am sorry to call this. This was a wonderful time. Mark, you are a great guest panelist on here, and
thank you.
It's been really cool to watch kind of the evolution of summer school, and I look forward to more and seeing what you got coming up. And you know, I mean, I was thinking about my friend Jeff at Farm Pedals, and he legitimately, like, if he's not farming, you know, so like he goes dark during like farming season.
Yeah.
And then, you know, like over the winter and stuff like that is when he's building. And it seems to me like you're having a great time, and, you know, like making a couple extra bucks on the side. And that is like more than I can say for myself.
Thank you, I appreciate it. It's been a fun hobby that's gotten out of control.
Yeah, man. Well, let it
a second full-time job.
Yeah, let it go out of control. I think that's great. So as far as Sean, Mark, Steve, Will the third, Charles, and Brian and Ivy, thank you guys so much. As hinted at, we may or may not have Kevin Morby next week. We're still
nunchucks crossed.
Nunchucks are crossed. Oh my gosh, this guy. We love you so much. Thank you for being a boss, man. We love you. And
that rules.
And with that, good evening, friends.
Awesome.
See ya.
Thank you guys.